Hello guys, today I'm going to introduce you this book called The Sisters Grimm, Book 8. Book 8. So we're going to have some Q&As first. And the inside story, this book is actually the responsibility of Daphne Grimm, Sabrina Grimm's have studied hundreds of stories as part of their training as fairy tale detectives, but they never thought they'd actually be in one. They never thought they'd actually be in one. And yet that's exactly what happens when they follow to the diabolical master into the Book of Ever After. So if they end up in a very big confusion, they would actually belong and track down the master. Okay, so what's the second best day of the year? Yeah, it's a little bit hard to say. It could be Christmas or Halloween or every holidays. But I like Christmas the best. So, Sabrina is in the night of the Christmas, the second best day of the year. So, Sabrina's in the Christmas Eve when Sabrina Grimm went to go inside a book, an actual book. So Sabrina Grimm is now in one opponent to 1-1. So that means the editor actually so we can say that there is the book of the Wizard of Oz, and Wizard of Oz have been taken out of hands of the robber, and the robber is editing the book. So they call the editor that. So the editor can make the story change. What happens if the story changes with the book? It goes wrong. So first, when Sabrina and Daphne and the three kids, including the boy, Puck, they all went inside the book, the Wizard of Oz book. So first, they became in a tornado. So the tornado happened to be a very big tornado. So what happens when you say you are in a tornado? It spins and whirls around you and until you get dizzy and do vomit. Which I mean by like 1 day. That could be a long, very vomiting time. Never mind. So actually they were inside a book when the editor was going to change the story into a very different one. So the different one can lead to a trouble to Sabrina, Daphne, and Puck. So if they first had an exit because the story first made of the Wizard of Oz was just an ordinary story. But if the editor makes the story really confusing, then there's no going out. So they're being trapped in the sisters, and Puck is trapped in the momentarium of the book. So what happens if you get alone? Not just alone, you get decided to be alone. So yeah, it's hard. You don't meet your family anymore. Well, what can you choose? Go on for the seaside of yours? Or what? So, the question. The Sisters Grimm is actually adventurous detectives. So they can do everything they want because they don't have parents. They're orphans. So they became a fantasy character, right? So they are in a story right now. How much is good that? I want to be in a story too. I especially want to meet the gingerbread man. So, Sabrina Grimm and Daphne Grimm and Puck. All three went in the close to the book, like a cellar. So the cellar is an example of a very not good smelling cell. So when cops put robbers in a really little room, so that's called a cellar. So they have no running hours. But the problem is that avoiding the book's tyrannical editor, who is devoted to keep the stories on track, and his army of story gobbling revisers. In the Book of Ever After, stories can be rewritten and designs change, which is why Sabrina and Daphne must find a master before he can alter his own fate and the fate of the whole world. So the whole fate of the whole world means that the world can end, and we're in the middle of the council. So keep seeing my videos. Thank you for my subscribers. Subscribes is a very momentary good thing for me. Thank you. And next time I will continue the summary of book 9. What was that book? I don't remember. Wait. Book 9, The Council of Mirrors. Bye.